Hey everybody, how you doing today? This is Tosk, and this is actually a follow-up video to what I made earlier about how to spot and identify the deep core asteroids that contains the void opals, low temperature diamonds, what have you, other various minerals as well. So I've been asked several times, what do I need if I want to go out start mining these opals or start mining these low temp diamonds? So I'm going to go over the basics and how to outfit your ship, which ships work, which ships won't, and what ships I recommend. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is determine what ship you're going to be using. Now, there are several good options. The most popular option I've seen in a long time has been the Asp Explorer. It's fairly inexpensive. It has a good amount of cargo, and it has the medium hardpoints you need. You need at least one size 2 or class 2 hardpoint. 4 utility slots, which is good. And it's a good, fairly maneuverable craft. So overall, it's a good choice. It's a little bit on the min-max side, but that's okay. Python is by far my number one choice if you can afford it. Now, if you do end up picking up an Asp Explorer, you can end up in a Python within a few hours. That's how profitable void opals and low temperature diamonds are right now. You can get into a Python very quickly, very easily. It has a good amount of cargo space. It has the large hard points. You only need medium. Some people, if you're really adventurous, you can try a beluga. It has medium hard points, so you can put the appropriate equipment on. It has 6 utility slots and it has a lot of cargo. The downside is it's not very maneuverable, obviously, because it's enormous. So once you have your decision, I'm going to be doing this based on my Type 10, which I've been using. It's a little bit bigger and bulkier, but it has got plenty of hard points. I'm not even using all of my hard points. So the number one thing you would need is a size 2 seismic launcher. This only comes in size 2. The two variants of it, either fixed or turret. I prefer the turreted version, so it gives me a little bit more range, but that's the only difference between the two. You can see on here I have 3 seismic launchers. The reason for that is gives me that much more ammunition. You'll also need abrasion blasters to knock off the chunks of opal or low temp diamonds that don't get knocked off in the initial explosion. And that's about it for weapons. Next, in utility mounts, you need a pulse wave analyzer that uses a pulse scan to identify the asteroids that you want to look at. It identifies your prospects. Everything else in here is optional. Core internals. If you have the money, go for A-rated thrusters. If you don't have them, Ds are fine. I also recommend going up to an A-rated power plant because you will need the extra power to keep your shields up. Moving on to your optional internals, this is where a lot of it comes in. I prefer the size 8 cargo container and the size 7 because there's only 2 that will fit on here, but I also go for a 6A shield generator. I'm thinking about switching this out with a 7A shield gen just for more shield power, but as it is right now, it's fine for me. The other thing you must have is a Prospector Limpet controller. This is the part that tells you, yes, this asteroid has a core and it is void opals, or it is low temp diamonds, what have you. Detailed surface scanner is also useful. A detailed surface scanner will help you identify hotspots in the icy rings. Without it, you will just be blindly guessing. A 3A refinery is more than enough. It has 8 bins. You don't need any more than 6. So you could even go with a smaller refinery, because if you know what you're focused on, you know what you need, you know what you're looking for, then you won't really worry about it. And that's about all that you must have to get started with deep core mining. So now that we know what we need to know where to go. This is where eddb.io comes in. What you want to do is go to the eddb.io website, click on bodies. You want to search for bodies. In the system reserve, you look for pristine, ring type, icy. This can vary depending on what type of mineral you were actually looking for, but void opals are my primary focus right now, and they only spawn in icy rings, therefore icy. The next part, you need to know where you are so you can determine where you're going to be going. Currently, I'm in the R system. So that's my reference system. Now it will generate a list of bodies close by within 200 light years that are pristine, icy rings. And I sort by reference system, so based on my system that I'm in currently. So now that that's populated itself, it's telling me in the ARMA system, Planet 7 Ring B is pristine. Now before we head out, we have to make sure that we have limpets. So you go under Advanced Maintenance, Restock Limpets. This pulls limpets for both your prospector and your collectors. They're the same. I use 250. You can go with more or less. Just make sure you have room to put whatever you're mining into your ship. Okay, so now that we've confirmed that we have everything we need, we launch. Now let's get lined up and let's jump. How many jumps is it? Just one jump to our system. Let's get lined up and let's jump. Okay, we have jumped into the system. I've done the scan and I'm heading to 7th planet now. Okay, now that we are at the 7th planet, we are ready to make our surface scan. So you have to be in Super Cruise, although I am at idle. I just activate my detailed surface scanner and I fire off our probe, take into account the gravity pull of the planet, so aim away from it and it will curve in, exit this and it should hit. There, it's a hit. Now to see if there's any targets there, there's a few. So you just target the hotspot that you want, in this case void opals. Looks like there's a few of them. Just pick one randomly. This one's overlapping with several other ones. Now my preferred method is to drop into the hotspot several thousand kilometers away from the center, so that way I know I'm always heading in one specific direction towards the center. Trying to keep the planet on your left or your right, or the center of the hotspot on your left or your right, can be very confusing. So I recommend dropping out far from the center and just constantly going in one stable direction. So this is 8,000 kilometers out. 6,400 kilometers out. And now I activate my weapon groups, and I have my pulse wave and my prospector limpets, and this is where the previous video would pick up. Feel free to subscribe if you like this video. Drop me a like, it really does help me out. I stream 4 nights a week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, overnights. So that's from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. So if you have any questions, feel free to pop into my stream. I'll be more than happy to help you out or answer any questions you have. Thanks again for your time. This has been Tosk. Have a great night.